An interesting Ministry of Defense report circulating in the Kremlin today states that Federation military commanders have failed to receive an explanation from their U.S. military counterparts on the whereabouts of 36 Tomahawk cruise missiles valued at $54 million, said by the Americans to have been fired into Levant war zone, quote, Syria, but as of now appear to have just disappeared. According to the official MOD statement about this incident, on April 7th from 3:42 to 3:56, two destroyers of the U.S. Navy, USS Ross and USS Porter, made a massive strike with 59 Tomahawk cruise missiles from the area near Crete Island against the Syrian Sharat Air Base, Homs Province. According to the objective monitoring data, 23 missiles reached the Syrian air base. As a result, an equipment depot, a training building, a mess, 6 MiG-23 aircraft in repairing hangars, as well as a radar station were destroyed. The runway, taxiways, and aircraft of the Syrian Air Force at parking places were not damaged. According to the information received from the Air Base Command, 2 Syrian servicemen are missing. 4 were killed and 6 got burning wounds during firefighting. Therefore, the combat effectiveness of the American massive missile strike on the Syrian air base is extremely low. Confirming the MOD's initial assessment of this illegal and unprovoked attack by the U.S. on a sovereign nation is not at war with. This report continues. The Syrian Army Command likewise reported, at 3:42 a.m. today, the United States of America committed a blatant act of aggression targeting one of our air bases in central region with a number of missiles, leaving 6 people martyred and a number of others injured and causing huge material damage, with casualty reports varying from 4 to 10 dead due to this U.S. attack. This report notes initial news video of the U.S. hit Sharat Air Base confirms the MOD's assessment that the physical damage caused was relatively minor, with the main runways themselves suffering only slight and superficial damage. Let's take a listen here.
ВМС США нанесли ракетный удар по сирийской авиабазе.
We can't understand it, it's in Russian. Approximately 30 minutes prior to this unprovoked attack by the U.S. on Syria, this report states, American military authorities notified Federation military commanders at the Joint Information Center in Baghdad, Iraq, of this pending action, thus causing the MOD to immediately suspend the existing U.S.-Russian memorandum on flight safety over Syria, enacted to lessen the threat of all-out war occurring. As to why the U.S. targeted Syria with its military might, this report notes, was due to an alleged chemical attack incident occurring on the 4th of April in Khan Sheikhoun, Syria, that is currently under the occupation of Pentagon-trained and equipped al-Qaeda terrorists long known to possess chemical weapons. and that NATO member Turkey claimed was caused by the banned nerve agent sarin. Within 2 hours of this alleged sarin gas attack upon the citizens of Khan Shaykhun occurring, this report details the Western propaganda mainstream, quote, fake news media began flooding their citizens' televisions, newspaper, and digital news feeds with absurd images purporting to be the aftermath of this attack, such as emergency workers hosing down little children with water with their bare hands to remove sarin gas residue, which is impossible to occur with such a deadly nerve agent whose, quote, real, true, quote, emergency actors must take the utmost extreme measures to protect themselves from being instantly killed when contacting this deadly substance. To how the Western propaganda mainstream, quote, fake news, quote, media were able to nearly instantaneously report on this alleged chemical attack charade, this report explains was due to the forewarning they received, and as evidence on the 3rd of April, the day prior to this alleged attack, was an anti-Assad journalist tweeted that the next day he would be launching a media campaign to cover airstrikes on the Hammam countryside, including the use of chemical weapons. Further examples of the Western propaganda mainstream, quote, fake news media's pre-knowledge of this chemical attack charade have also been noted by many American experts, including those at the highly respected Zero Hedge organization, who wrote, observers further noted that on April 1st, 2017, a doctor on the ground in Khan Shaykhun, Dr. Shahzul Islam, had received several shipments of gas masks in the days running up to the chemical incident. The revelations on Twitter fueled speculation that opposition figures were aware of the chemical attack days before it actually happened, contesting the narrative that the Syrian government was responsible. Daily Mail has reported that Dr. Shahzul, I'm not pronouncing it correct, whatever, Islam was at one point sought by the British government in connection with the abduction of 2 journalists in Syria, and security services have stated that Islam and his brother may have had ties to ISIS executioner Jihadi John. Additionally, footage from the scene of the incident taken by the Syrian White Helmets appear to show that their operatives were not assisting victims in a manner that was consistent with established protocol on how to handle sarin-saturated bodies. Images appear to show that the Syrian White Helmets operatives were handling purported sarin victims with their bare hands rather than with gloves, which is necessary to prevent the rescuer being injured by the chemical themselves. They also appear to be using simple dust masks, which are not suitable protection in the event of a sarin attack. As to the truest real reason for the U.S. attacking Syria, though, this report continues, was provided by the former U.S. Congressman Ron Paul, who stated that it was, quote, deep state action against President Donald Trump, with his further adding, what happened 4 years ago in 2013, you know, this whole thing about crossing the red line, ever since then, the neocons have been yelling and screaming. A part of the administration has been yelling and screaming about Assad using poison gas. It was never proven, in fact, and the UN official Carla De Ponte said it was most likely done by the rebels. It makes no sense, even if you were totally separate from this and take no sides of this, and you were just an analyst. It doesn't make sense for Assad under these conditions to all of a sudden use poison gases. I think it's zero chance that he would have done this deliberately. And I actually agree with that. I agree with Ron Paul also. Listen, if you see that Hillary Clinton and everybody, all of the left are going for this war here and believing all of this, then you know something's up. That's how I feel. That something's up. This doesn't make any sense why Assad would do this at this point. Let us know what you think in the comments below, because this is also a very serious situation. And thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below.